Top one, laddies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Deku Had by Bijo Bijo, the one that you see on the screen. Hold on, just clicked here. This one, Bijo fruit. So yeah, this one. So, but I am making this what if stronger than a what the One Piece universe has. Instead of having to have the image of the illusion things, it is three. No, it's way stronger than like anything in the galaxy. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, he could have draw, and it also allows him to draw himself with powers. Like he could draw himself as like a bird and it comes to life. So basically, but he doesn't need a pencil or pen compared to what if Deku had a drawing quirk. I remember. So yeah. So, and I'm also throwing in Zumi to help the with this story. But before we get into the story, sorry for the YouTube short story thing about a little joke thing. This one right here. And yeah, so because it was supposed to be a just a meme thing, not like super rude, super thing. So I'm apologizing for that. It was the dumb move. So yeah. So now we begin. Zuko being born. But there's one thing. He carries his pencils around. Or he has multiple lives. Like souls of his own. So but he didn't realize it until like the end. So yeah. So now let's begin. End with them being born, and then at age of 4, they went to a quirk doctor, and Yeah, Zuko does have a quirk. It's he yeah, so he basically got lied to by the quirk doctor, but Zumi can become a hero. But there is one thing. Zuko wasn't just born with one quirk and one power. He was born with two quirks and one power. Flame manipulation and the music modifier. Basically, when he hears like music from anywhere, like he becomes stronger than a normal human, but on godly level. Yeah. That's why he always carries earplugs with music all the way around where he's at. And his body could handle multiple quirks, multiple powers, everything. So, but Inko and Nasashi were doing their thing of, oh, this kid's gonna be dead about a couple of days. And then, so they paid more attention to Zumi. Zuko is just like that person that was ignored through most of his life. He wanted to be a hero, but yeah. So he joined the Quirkless. As people. So yeah. As he was so relaxed, he met this young girl. She was beautiful. Oh, and she she was the same age as him. Sorry, I was itching my nose. He or she was the same age as him. But she had this weird feeling. She also got lied to by the court doctor. So, yeah. Because she hid her powers away. She has the same thing as him, but a little bit weaker one. As, yeah. The one that the music one. So when or every time he listens to music, she could go, create like different stuff. Oops. Yeah. So Matsumi was joined UA at age of 15 as she gets more it's basically the same thing as the canon, but instead of Zuko it's Zumi, and Zuko is at well, Zuko, or so I'm skipping the most of it, except for the All for One versus All Might. He puts his backpack down. And so, or actually, let's say Quirkless had like dorms. So when, of course, Zuko was right next door to her. Yeah. Her father had music playing all the time. Yeah. To train her to try to think about using So Zuko picked up a pencil. Well, and then when he set it back down, he put his backpack down right next to it. Or actually puts a pencil inside of his backpack. So he left. He ran as All for One's about to kill All Might. As Zuko shows up. As he actually drew in thin air. And it came like a illusion. Like, do you see where it is? The one here. Like how she does it. And like the fire breathing thing. Yeah. But it was stronger. As he puts a shield, including he created a double barrier. As All for One's attack went through the first one, he actually learned a special technique. As he opens up his mouth, generate enough heat, and he shot it like a missile. Like the as he calls it, Dragon's Roar, as he shoots a fiery beam. It went head to head, and and as he believes in himself way too much, as the quirk, or two quirks fused into his abilities, so it creates a special version of that called Forge of Creation of Bio fruit. So when as he shoots a cannon Yeah, like, you know how that dragon, like, shoots a fire thing? Imagine that, but 100 times harder. As he believes in himself, as he thinks that he believes in everyone and himself. Whom everyone thinks that. As he, as one of the pussycats, you know which one? The one that reads minds. She says, "We believe in you." Oh. Just win this fight, Zuko. As Zumi was there, she heard Zuko, and yeah, she forgot all about him. Her brother. How did you lose her? How did you forget your brother? Your brother's important person in your entire family, other than your mom and your father. Yeah. So, yeah, basically, Zuko is a very strong person. He thinks that this all for one doesn't mean that. So he says, as he had his earplugs in, and, and when he cranked the music up loud, then his body starts to react. His quirk, or his ability, or the quirk that he had, or he has, that fused into his ability, he reacted. And it, like, when it fused with the flame manipulation, yeah, Zuko released a supernova flame. Yeah, or like world's most hottest flames. Hotter than a volcano, hotter than anything in the entire galaxy. Yeah. Times 10 million trillion billions. Yeah. And times that. Zuko, who, when he released it, man, all for one's entire body, like his regeneration quirk, couldn't keep up. So, yeah, as he turns the music down, unplugs his earplugs or ear things, as everyone saw how destructive his powers could get to. As he says, "Man, I think I'm holding back on my. I really need to pay a court doctor a visit and force him to tell me the truth." Yeah, everyone was like in shock when they saw how powerful he really gets. Yeah, it looked like how will I put this? It looked like, you know how like the in that one scene where One Punch Man Saitama punched a laser thing or the attack, threw it right back. Yeah. Well, it was bigger than that. And it like and it was so deep that like yeah. And Zuko is or everyone is terrified of him. They can't believe this kid is on a whole nother level of as his body starts to yeah slowly reacting to yeah as he teleports away. Yeah. And yeah. So Zuko who's or actually his body couldn't handle that much. So he's about to explode. As he says to All Might, take care, her All Might. As he teleports away. As in the distance, they see the giant explosion that was bigger than a normal. Yeah. Kaboom. It exploded. As everyone couldn't believe that explosion was so powerful. It shook the entire world so bad that everyone was in shock. Um, Everything that was was like mobilized, as as they couldn't believe it. As Zuko or Zumi remembers her brother was always there when they were just kids. And he's always helping her with the chore things and yeah. As yeah. As Zuko's was at his or actually the pencil that I said and before when he dropped or when he like set it down in his backpack and left his backpack. Well, after he left, or actually after he died, he actually came back, or he formed from that small pencil. And Zuko was that size is of pencil, or no, Zuko was that size as he hops out of the backpack. As he grew to the same age that when before he died. As, yeah. So, he, only person that didn't get fooled by or still believes that he still lives is that green-haired girl. And yeah, Zuko encouraged many people that have like quirks, to not overdose or not overdose, overuse their quirks to pass their own body limits. As everyone and couldn't believe it that his yeah, as he puts some clothes on, he went right to bed. As he gets up, and she's still holding on to him, like his thoughts of, or no, or her thoughts of her telling herself that he still lives. As everybody's like, no, he's dead. Why do you hold on this long? As a voice came out of nowhere, who's dead? As they turn around, they see him, Zuko Midoriya. As he says, as everyone's eyes start or widen as like pancakes, as their jaws dropped when they saw him. Him. Yeah. And that's how powerful Zuko is. Zuko was on a whole nother level. And they said, what was your quirk? As everybody's like, you must have a quirk. Well, the quirk doctor said I was quirkless. But it probably was a lie. As she's agreeing with him, like, yeah, I think he lied to me too. Because the music and from when my father was had it so loud, we got so many like noisy like things, all that stuff. So basically, yeah, as all the quirkless people that got lied to, they all agree. And yeah, so all of them did have a quirk. Huh? So basically, he just wants to walk up to the quirk doctor and punch him for that. But they could sense something else. Or one of the doctors did his DNA test. Or, like, yeah. And what they found shocked them. As he told, or no, they told him that he's the most important person that they ever seen. As they asked, or he asked, why? As he said to him that he is now able to, or actually he knows why, because he did a DNA test before, and turns out he had two quirks. As he thinks, okay. But the thing that caught him off guard was his ability of, I forget the, of that Delver thing. Yeah. But, yeah. Imagine yourself one day, like, you were just, after you were born as a kid, and you went to a doctor's office, and the doctor found something in your genetics. Yeah. So, and yeah. There's also, I forgot to mention, how much time do I have? Well, that's okay. I have a link down in the description. Go check them out. They were I thought about this. It's not copying them. It's the actually whole different one. So yeah, if you see the link in the bottom, go check them out. Or that video of them doing their what ifs. Yeah. So basically, the Nezu, was like, as he walks around, or Zuko was walking around with his girlfriend. Yeah. So, yeah. Basically, he was just doing his thing. And they both listened to some music. One ear pod in one ear. Yeah. So, yeah. Her quirk, when I said was weaker version of the sound quirk, she actually used it to stay that way. She could be millions, trillion, billions years old. And she's also a mortal, similar to Zuko, but she gets stronger over time. So, yeah, she could be what you see on her screen, but on a whole nother level. And, yeah, as he's just hanging out with her, having a cup of tea, or the sodas, and, of course, Zuhumi looked at, yeah, let's say it was after school. She sees her brother still alive. As, yeah, her, as she couldn't, like, believe that he's still alive after what he been through. Yeah. So she thinks that it was just, like, weird that he's still alive. But she keeps reminding herself that he's dead. Yeah. So, yeah. So, basically, that girl, the one that has, like, green pom-pom things, she ends up dating him. Yeah. As when she said, Zuko, who, this will work out between me and you. As, yeah. The, she, or Zumi was speechless. Like, she couldn't believe. Yeah. So, her friends were heard that, and they're like, okay, we should go ask him if is he real or fake. Hmm. As as he goes, or as she goes up, walks up. Are you Zuko, Doria? Are you Zuko? As he turned around, yes, I am. Um, as he forgot all about her, all about Zumi. As yeah, because it's been so long since he actually made contact from, because at age of like 3, they were playing around, having a good old time. Aim. But then at age of 5, or at age of 4, things got changed to them being separated for a long, long time. So long that they forgot about it. So yeah, it's it's like me forgetting to take a pills, brain pills, should I say, for my brain. Yeah. So, but that's the side point. So he, of course, she she tears up um as she hugs him. And yeah, as she cares about him more than, yeah. So then after that, the, yeah, so they got home, or actually Zumi got to her house, or and Zuko went back with her to the dorms. And yeah, and Zook or Inko was like, "You're in a good mood." Well, because Zuko, the one that died, yeah, he came back to life, actually. As Inko's eyes were like her face was like he's back from the dead. Oh my goodness. As Asashi heard that from when Inko was Inko and Asashi, or no, were surprised and that her sister or their daughter or no, their son is back from the dead. And yeah. So then UA he he was like Nezu is like, all right, so we so they when of course the one of the pussycats told Nezu that I think the quirk doctor's lying to the kids of not having the quirk. Most of them, all of them believed him. Well, we need to go, find him and make him, apologize to those people that do have quirks. Yeah. So, basically, the very next day, sorry, I just thought about something. So, yeah, next day, Nezu walks over to the where Zuko was at, as let's say he was at coffee shop, sitting down, having a cup of coffee with his girlfriend, and yeah, and Nezu was doing his thing, and yeah. So he asks Zuko if that's okay with him, if he could go to UA. And his girlfriend loves that idea of both of them. Yeah. So both of them agree and they pack their stuff. Oh, and they go to UA. And they did the written part of the test and the he they did a written part of the test and the robots one as he demonstrated as the yeah. So she defeats 1-pointers, 2-pointers, 3-pointers. Same thing as Zuko, but at the very top speeds. They're very, very fast. They don't even want to hold back. Yeah. So As Zumi sees how fast her brother is, it was on a whole nother level of it. It was like, yeah. So basically, they were in class 1A. Yeah. So Zuko was the, and so they were in the same class as Zumi is. And yeah, basically they were, so after these whole, like, I'm skipping the overhaul arc, Zuko caught up on all of his work, same thing as his girlfriend. And but yeah, the yeah, so they became pro heroes. He became the, the she became Soundwave, and he became the illusion drawer, or drawer of the illusions. Yeah. So basically, yeah. As it was pretty funny name. So yeah. So they also got married, and had one kid. Or no, actually two kids that share their quirks and their powers. Because their powers is like their father's, and there's this, like, drawing quirk or ability. Yeah. So he doesn't hang out with his sister too often. So they decided to just want to hang out with. So she does hang out with him. And yeah. So basically, yeah, that's how funny it became. So let's do a time skip. And his powers went through another evolution called the Forge of Creation of Histories. Yeah. So he could rewrite history if he wants to. As they both are immortal, or actually, the kids are immortal too. So basically, yeah. So they seeing what the future holds for them. As yeah, Zumi, so her was like spooning each other's. Like basically has the arms around them. Mm. As, yeah. So, yeah. So Momo is thinking, man, if I was met Zuko, or if I met him mm, way before, things would have been probably different. As she thinks that, and he might be, or he will probably be a worthy husband, because Todoroki is always thinking of, like, name caring about others, like being a pro hero and all that stuff. Yeah. So they all decided, yeah, let's agree. Yeah. So, but they all like music. So, Jiro, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? There she is. Jiro, you might be the endless power for them with your quirk. So, yeah. And I'm not going to do the voice for her because I already did that in YouTube short stories. And most of you guys, like, couple times you unsubscribed to me because of this video or this YouTube short story thing right here that I have my cursor on. Yeah. Not the one that's on the bottom. No thanks. So, yeah. So I'm just going to keep it simple. Oh, Jiro can make both of them very overpowered. As one day the meteor is about to hit Earth, as the father says, well, it's another day in the Hero Foundation, isn't it? As his wife says, yep, we both are in home. So, yeah. So they both, like, go up or so he makes a bet that if he punches a meteor, so yeah, he does do that. He punched right through, and he created the portals, pasted them all the way around, so that the entire city wasn't destroyed. So, yeah, he keeps the damage to the minimal, not like super crazy. And yeah, so now this is the end of the What If. Please leave a like, share, subscribe, and do all the fun things. And so my goal, as a YouTuber, to reach them all three play buttons, YouTube play buttons, should I say. So if more people subscribe, making it happen. So peace out, y'all. So bye.